So today, aided by our Director of Club Fitting Club Building, Mr. Mike Martisevich, we're going to run through a little test with the new Mitsubishi MMTs. Now we have tested those on the channel. Those of you who are regulars and have seen Matty testing it before will have seen that we test this against a few other shafts. Really liked it, but this one has a little bit more of a selfish tint to it because I now own a set. And I'm wondering, do they go into my current Miuras? Do we look at other heads? What do we do?
Get you dialed in.
Get me dialed in indeed. Every time I feel like we talk about graphite shafts for players who are not in the slower swing speed category, we almost have to justify them, justify why we're going graphite over steel. Why not just stick with an X100? Personally, right now I use an Oban CT125, exactly the same weight as these. These are actually a little bit stiffer.
They are, yeah.
But there are some things that graphite shafts offer in performance that steel doesn't, and we're going to look into a little bit about that.
Definitely.
So, again, for those of you who haven't seen the MMT video in the past, MMT metal mesh technology, something that has been a bit of a problem in sort of previous years with designs of graphite shafts has been the balance point of the shaft, Mikey, being a little bit on the high side.
Yeah.
Metal mesh in the tip section in this lower half designed to keep that swing weight where we want it. Generally speaking, the better players we work with like that. They like the head weight feel.
Yep.
Definitely. So we're gonna run through that. We've picked out 3 heads. I think 2 of them will be expected and will be ones that you guys would have thought, okay, try this, try that. There's one that's a little bit of a wild card in there, and there's one that we don't have yet.
Correct.
That's in the mix as well. So obviously, I'm still very keen to see what they do with my current gamers.
Cult classic.
Yep, working into that. The brand new ZX7 from Strixon, which is something that you and I have. Well, you're playing these.
I'm playing this setup, just different weight and shafts.
Okay, and this is the wild card that I think may surprise some people, but I love the head shape in the new King Tour MIM irons.
Love it.
A little bit less offset. I just think the profile of that is something that will go a little under the radar, but shouldn't this year. I really believe more people in the sort of players iron category should be adding that to the list.
Definitely.
Okay. Why don't we get some baseline numbers? Guys, we're going to start off at my current specs. Now this is, as much as we are testing the shafts with this shaft with different heads, I also want to do a little bit of digging into the specs that I'm currently playing. Is that still what I need? Done a little bit of work on the swing over the off season, and I'm not too sure if the same loft and lie is exactly what I need, but we're going to dive into that as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so option number 1, Miura TC201, MMT 125TX, standard length. Loft is at 30 and 60, loft at
29.
29.
That's what I've been playing.
And you're using Pro V1X.
Correct, yeah. And I think that's, obviously as we go on a lot about the importance of the golf ball, that is important to me. I want to see what the spin rate is on my current golf ball. I really like the new, this is the brand new 2021 Pro V1X. Ideally, numbers for me, I would say if I could be launching it around 18, spinning it around 55, 5600.
Yeah.
Ideally carrying it about 190. Yeah. I'd say that would be pretty much perfect.
You really don't love a 200-yard 6-iron. There's no need for it in your bag.
No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a jumpy distance. And I know it's not going to be due to the head. You know, the Miuras are very consistent on the ball speed. I just don't like fluctuating spin rates that lead me towards flyers.
Yeah, definitely.
So a good strike, just pulled it.
All right, good start with the Miuras. You know, looking at the numbers that we were talking about earlier, you know, right at that 18 degrees of launch, 51, 5,200 RPMs a spin.
Yep.
Really, really consistent. There's nothing there that, you know, screams it's bad or it's good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's something that's comfortable that you could go out and play with today. And that's the one thing you were talking about. You don't like a club that's jumpy, and I don't. You know, we know that the Mirror doesn't offer that that jumpy iron shot. It's good. I like it. I think it's really good. I mean, numbers are solid. That the strike's good, path is clean.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I look for there, or I look at there, that pleases me on those numbers is the standard deviations. If you go back to the ball there, like less than 100 RPMs of fluctuation in spin, not much of a fluctuation in ball speed. When we're talking about distance control and trying to make sure that it's predictable, those are the two things for me. It's in a really tight launch window, 0.3 variance either side in the launch is great. So yeah, that's why I play the Mirrors. That's why I chose to play Miura irons, is for that sort of consistency to my irons. I'm not looking for anything extra.
Nope.
But it'll be interesting to see. We're going to go with the Strix next, Mikey, the ZX7.
Yep.
See what they offer. Okay, so the interesting thing about the difference between the Miura and the Strixon is the Strixon loft in the 6 irons 28, the Miura is 30. So I'm strengthening the Miura and I'm weakening the Strixon. Yep. Actually makes me like the look of the profile of the Strixon a lot, because I'm taking a fraction of offset away, and I like to do that whether it's wedges or whatever. So I really like this. Marginally thicker top line. I do definitely see that. Not offensive at all. I think for a lot of players that'll be a good thing, confidence inspiring. But
going into the test, we, a non-biased approach, but it's a favorite for everyone. It's always been an iron that produces great numbers, we fit a ton of people into these irons. So I'm excited to see the numbers for you for sure.
Okay. That one felt good.
So this strike sounded nice.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even look like you take a full swing at it. Okay, so Strixon not bad. Little lower in launch, but we're being picky here. Little less spin as well, not as quick as the Miura. You go into the club data, we're better path. You delivered it nicer, but efficiency drops. But we're being really
picky. I would say just from what it felt like, I didn't feel like I hit it as good. Felt like I missed it more. Definitely didn't feel like I caught it as solid as the Miura. If we go to that ball data, obviously dropping 2 miles an hour ball speed, it was relative to the club head speed dropping a touch, but that losing a bit of spin as well, not ideal. So the flight came down a little bit, which wasn't perfect. So definitely a little room to improve on those numbers.
Definitely.
Okay, let's have a look at the Cobra, Mikey.
Okay.
Pushed up for sure. That was
high
handle for sure.
Good swing there. A little cut's a little bit more controlled now.
It's a good strike. I just one has got a couple of these, just a bit more online.
Yep. All right, so we made a small adjustment to your Miura TC201s. We've added a degree of loft.
Yep.
And we've changed the lie angle by 2 degrees, 2.5 degrees, more upright.
Yeah, I think when we look at that dynamic lie angle over in the club data, 5.2 is too much of a band-aid. That could potentially, I talk about 3 degrees toe up, 3 degrees toe down is kind of like your playable zone when it comes to dynamic lie angle. 5, I'm not really happy if I'm 5 degrees down, and if that's what it takes to manage the face. If that is the only way I can manage the face, then ball flight first, result first, obviously data second, but I'm way happier with that second set that I can keep by going upright. Add a little bit more loft as well to it. We added a degree of loft and that showed up in the dynamic. We lost a little bit of efficiency. I'm fine with that. No problem at all. And then if we go to the ball data, adding the extra spin is nice.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing too is that carrying total is a lot tighter. At the end of the day, your outside playing numbers, that is, it's very, very consistent. Dispersion was good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, definitely. The Miura for me is just, I knew it was going to take something special to knock that Miura out. When you look at all the shots compared on the select comparison there on the left, I think what's always interesting to me is, I think people think going to a Miura Players Club, they're going to give up some distance. I've picked up distance since going to these. The extra head weight, and I've talked about it a few times, the head weight has given me more ball speed, which has allowed me to play with more loft. I used to have to use loft as the crutch to create distance, and now I don't have to do that anymore. So when I see 131.5, that's plenty for me. That's as much ball speed as I need to play with. 17.5 launch, really consistent amongst all the irons, but the kicker for me is that spin rate. 56 is exactly where I want to see it. Offers me a little bit more in the angle of descent into the green. I'm really pleased with that. Really pleased. But it's close, isn't it? I mean, the irons all performed well.
Yeah, I think if we made even more tweaks to all of them, we would see, a little bit different or similarities to the 201, but there's a comfort level to it as well, right? Yeah.
And sort of back to the start, they obviously were testing the shaft. The shaft felt great, felt like I could time it well. Didn't feel like there was too much variance in terms of what it was offering me. We are seeing that in our testing with it. I think Gears have done some significant testing with MMT recently as well, seeing the same thing. 10 players last week on the PGA Tour. That's a lot.
Crazy.
For a single graphite iron shaft, 10 players is a significant amount for them. So momentum's on their side.
Definitely.
Good.
No, it's probably the best graphite we work with to build some clubs, for iron shafts anyways. MMT's been really impressive, so.
Definitely.
Cool.
Okay guys, so that's the 125 MMT TX. It's going to be part of our demo matrix, not just that only weight and flex will carry. Comes in 60 grams, 80 grams. We've got 105 coming in and 125. So we think it offers lots of different players an alternative to maybe what they're playing right now, whether it's steel or graphite.
Definitely.
It's going to be a good one. Okay, stay tuned for more. We'll see you again soon.